Hi, welcome to Quality and Food Safety with Martha, where we get to learn, apply and excel. This is where we break down complex topics of quality and food safety to help emerging and practicing professionals to be the best they can be. Let's get learning.
Have you ever really thought about how that apple in your hand made its way to you? Well, today we're going to pull back the curtain on the secret journey your food takes and the incredible system that protects every single bite. You know that feeling, right? You see a food recall on the news, maybe it's lettuce, maybe it's chicken, and you get that little knot in your stomach as you rush to check your fridge. It seems almost impossible, doesn't it? How on earth can they pinpoint your specific bag of spinach and not the identical looking one sitting right next to it on the shelf? Well, the answer is this amazing system called traceability. It gives every single food item its own unique story, right from day one. Now, to really get this, we have to go all the way back to the beginning. And I don't mean the grocery store, I mean the farm. This is where every product gets its birth certificate. You can almost think of it like a food passport. It gets a stamp at every single stop on its journey, from the second it's picked in the field to the moment you drop it in your shopping cart. And that whole story, that passport, it all kicks off with one key piece of information, the batch or lot number. This is the unique ID a grower gives to a crop, maybe everything they harvested from a certain field on a certain day. This number is the very first chapter. And what's cool is that this identity evolves. It might start as just a simple handwritten tag on a big bin of oranges out in the field. But as it moves along, more data gets layered on until it becomes that complex scannable barcode you see at the checkout. Okay, so every product has a unique identity. But how does that information actually travel reliably from the farm to the packer to the distributor and then finally to the store? Well, that's where the food chain itself becomes this unbreakable chain of data. The whole system is built on this really simple but totally genius rule: one step back, one step forward. All anyone in the chain needs to know is who they got the product from and who they're giving it to next. That's it. It's this simple handoff repeated over and over that creates this perfect, unbroken trail of information. And you can see here, this whole thing is a two-way street. The forward flow is called tracking. That's how a company follows a product out to the store. But the backward flow, tracing, is what happens during a recall. They can follow the trail backwards from the store shelf all the way to its source. You absolutely need both. So let's look at a real-world example. Here we have a packer. They get a big bin of oranges, and they log the grower's original batch number. Then they put those oranges into smaller bags for the store. When they do that, they give those bags their own brand new batch number. But, and this is the key part, they link their new number to the original grower's number in their system. They receive data, add to it, and pass it on. The chain gets stronger. So what this all means is that the traceability chain is only as strong as its weakest link. If just one company in that long journey fails to record and pass on the info for a shipment, the whole system just breaks. Everybody has to be on board for this to work. Which brings us to the moment of truth. All this careful record-keeping gets put to the ultimate test when something actually goes wrong. You know, a recall isn't always some big government-ordered emergency. Actually, most of them are voluntary recalls. That's when a company spots a problem themselves and pulls the product. But if a real public health risk is found and the company doesn't act fast enough, that's when a government agency can step in and force an authority-ordered recall. And once a recall gets triggered, things happen fast. First, they stop any more of the product from being shipped out. Bam, done. Second, they work with stores to get it off the shelves. Third, they use all that traceability data to alert every single business partner who got the bad batches. And finally, they let us, the public, know. So how do they figure out which batches are the right ones so fast? Well, a lot of the time, it comes down to a piece of paper we all recognize, a simple sales receipt. During an investigation, this thing becomes a critical clue. It has the names, the dates, and most importantly, the batch numbers. By following this paper trail, they can trace the problem backward with incredible speed and pinpoint exactly which products are affected. So, okay, besides the drama of a recall, what does this whole complicated system really mean for you and me on a day-to-day basis? Well, this whole system is really designed for us. It gives us speed, so they can find unsafe food in a hurry. It gives us precision, so they only have to recall the specific products affected, which avoids tons of food waste. It gives us safety by getting that stuff off the shelves fast. And all of that together builds trust in the food we buy. And get this, the commitment to safety is serious. Regulations demand that all these records, the receipts, the batch logs, all of it, have to be kept for at least 2 years after the product's expiration date. It's a massive safety net that makes sure a product's history can be investigated long after it's gone from the shelves. So the next time you're at the checkout and you scan a barcode, take a second to think about it. It's so much more than just a price tag. It's a digital fingerprint. It's the final chapter in this invisible story of safety and connection that stretches all the way back to the farm.